dog. And what I did that week, anybody that's on public service or ourselves.
Okay, it's 4 o'clock, so we're gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. Let's do roll call for the board. Dave French.
Yep.
Libby Matheson. Carol Newmeyer. Dan Valentine.
He's in Washington, D.C.
And Penny Holden here. Okay, then I want to introduce the other members of the, that's not part of the board. If you can introduce yourself and let us know who you are.
I'm Barry Moore, Controller, KRMC.
Josh Hoffman, Chief Financial Officer, KRMC.
Kevin Keener, Director of Finance, KRMC.
Okay. This brings us to, this meeting was called together to take care of our financial matters. The first one is board insurance. Discussion and possible action regarding purchase of board insurance for all board members and the recording secretary. This topic has been coming up several times since I became chairman, and I've been working with Cheryl Porter to get prices on board insurance for everybody. And so she sent it out to a broker, and we have a company called Atlantic Specialty Insurance Company. The cost of this insurance is $21,000 a year, and it covers us from May 1st, 2024 to May 1st of 2025. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the purchase of board insurance from Atlantic Specialty Insurance?
That's the one with all. You looked at others.
No, she sent it out to a broker. So this is the one that came up with them.
Well, I think that's
Most
ridiculous. We're gonna do it, but I think that's a ridiculous price for this little.
Well, we can't
board.
discuss it until I get a second. First,
Second.
First.
Motion.
is there a second?
I'll second.
And discussion?
It's just a ridiculous amount. I don't think they know what they're insuring, but.
So is this insurance that we've never had before?
Yes.
Actually,
And
they
what-
did
what's
have
the
it a
re-
while back.
What's the reason?
Right, that they didn't have it.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, they talk about, that we're indemnified in the bylaws, and understand, I don't really understand, what is the insurance needed for?
You're indemnified through the hospital's insurance if the hospital is sued. If the hospital
And we're
sued
sued too.
and they name us, we're covered. If this board is sued
Without suing the
without the
hospital?
hospital, we are not covered under their indemnification. So this insurance covers us for lawsuits. If you don't have this insurance, your personal assets are on the line.
Okay, so why haven't they had it? Why was there a gap in having
Carol,
the
I don't know.
insurance?
I just remember, I don't know, 1,000 years ago or whatever, they had it. I don't know what.
And that is
I think it
definitely
was the same stuff the hospital had. It was tied onto the hospital.
right. And I assume that the broker, that this is the best deal that they had, because it sounds like a lot of money for what is a unlikely event.
You have to ask yourself, you want to be on the board and your personal assets are online? Or do you want to have insurance, just like you have your home insurance, your car insurance? You want to self-insure.
It's just covering what you.
Everybody's
what you
still
hope
happy
never
today.
happened.
Yeah, I was just curious as to why, because it
And
seems like
since-
something that would have been going on ongoing and not allowed to lapse.
Since I have been on the board, which we had different people in charge and stuff, it was never brought up. Never. I've never heard it brought up before this.
I'm just never
I
worried
wouldn't-
about it. Is this the specific item that you told me in the email was going to be on the agenda?
I said financial.
No, you told me there was a specific topic.
Yeah, it's all to do with finances. The revision of the budget needs to be done because that has to be turned into the county.
I call for the question.
Pardon me?
I call for the question. Aye.
Oh, let's take it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the second thing on the topics, discussion and possible action regarding approval of the hospitals district proposed revised budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. And that's with Barry, Mr. Moore.
So the last, I think the last meeting was the, yeah, budget meeting. And so the revisions since then were this, the one we just talked about, and then
The insurance.
Yeah, the insurance up to 21,000. I don't know what it was before, but and then the next item will be audit fees will change. So do you want to talk about the audit fees before the budget, or
No,
just
it's-
approve the
it's-
budget?
we're gonna
Add as contingency.
Approve this revision that's already done, and then we'll approve the revision with changes after the audit.
Okay,
So this one's just for the 21,000.
that's right, okay.
Do both in one motion. There.
Yeah, but we didn't, this one, he already changed and put 21,000 for the insurance.
Is that
The
what we did
audit's
last
not
time?
been put in there. The audit company's not been put in there. That's why we have to do it with the changes second time. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the revised vision?
Has he given the presentation?
Pardon me?
I didn't really
It was the
understand what the
21,000 for the
presentation.
insurance is what was added.
So the only thing I haven't talked about is the totals. You guys all have this in your packet. The total expenses estimated will be 1.2 million. And the revenues over expenses, excess revenues are estimated at almost 1.3 million for the year, for the fiscal year. And so that's pretty much summarizes the whole thing.
But what you're asking us to approve is this, what was thought to be only, or budgeted originally for only $5,000, now gone up to 21,000, and that's all because of this insurance that we're talking about, that we approved again.
Correct.
Yeah, that was the quote, the insurance quote.
And that's why it's under other professional services.
Correct.
It is correct. So that's the change.
And this vote we're taking does not include the change of the, from 3,000 to 9,000 and something. We're just approving the other professional services increased from 5,000 to 21,600. Is that right?
What's the 3,000 to?
That's the current year, the budget year. We're already over budget apparently on legal services. Somebody's changed it to $9,238.
So the column on the far right is the budget that we're talking about for fiscal year 2025.
Well,
It
then
starts
it's
in July.
10,000, then I stand corrected, for legal fees.
So this is July 1st through June 30th, 2025, this year that we're
Next
talking.
year,
Yeah, so
So
But the only figure that changed
Was the
was
21,000.
the 21,000. So
That's all
the
we're
10,000 for legal fees was already approved the last time the budget was approved, at the last meeting.
in the 3,000 in the budget of 2024 is gonna be over in this June? Is that what that was for? I'm just confused about that.
the 3,000.
Yeah, it's listed under the budget of 2024. If, not the square thing, it says fees or legal fees of 3,000. And then if you look at actual fees,
Right.
4,619, and then projected was basically the 10,000 for the following year. So
Right, so,
3,000 was what was budgeted originally for
correct.
this coming year and not the
No, it's current
the
year.
year that ends now.
It's current year ending in June, yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, you are over budget, and for legal fees, that would, underestimated, so. they're-
So for this current year, it's over on legal expenses from what was budgeted. If that's what you're asking.
Yes, that's.
Yep.
that's what I'm asking.
We can't go over it because we're too late.
Okay, is there a motion on the floor to approve the revised budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025 with the $21,000 change?
I make a motion to approve the revised budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, this brings us into, for federal regulations, a rotation of financial audit companies must occur every 5 years. Therefore, discussion and possible action is needed as follows. Approval for the hospital district board's utilization of the same financial audit company as KHI, doing business as KRMC, such as more cost-effective and less counterproductive than using a different audit company to conduct a mandated Title 48 annual audit. As has been previously discussed, the financial audits for both KHI, doing business as KRMC, and the hospital district need to be performed by not a forensic audit. We need to take that out. By an audit
That's
company.
a heavy duty audit.
More expensive.
Yes.
By an audit company rather than a general certified public accounting due to specific complexities of the audit process. So, in the packet, there is where I attended the meeting on 4/18 with everyone. And we actually had 3 companies come in and they did a presentation on the companies. And after the meeting and after the presentations, we sat here and discussed. So the district board had a say and asked questions to each one of the auditing companies. And based on their presentations that they give and their interaction and professionalism, and Moss Adams was the chosen company to go with because they're locally in Phoenix and Southern California. So we had to do reduced travel expenses, their healthcare expertise. They perform audits for the Yuma Hospital, who's set up exactly like this hospital. So they know how to handle, because I didn't quite understand it, and I've talked to Barry today and got it straightened out. We have a lease agreement here. So that puts a whole nother spin on our audit. And also we had references. The CFO from Yuma recommended it, and I believe Ms. Burge has dealt with Moss Adams herself in business transactions. So for that reason, I want to put a vote on the floor that we utilize the same audit company as KHI for the sole purpose of it being more cost-effective, less work for the financial department, because they're here. We're only paying a small portion because they're already here doing the hospital's audit.
As far as I know, it's been that way ever since the 2 entities were together. It doesn't make any sense to do it apart because they charge you motels and meals and stuff for 2 people. And this way you get it done for a lot less expense. And it's very common to have one auditor audit.
I wouldn't think that there would be anything, a problem. I don't think we have the same company.
I don't either.
City does it with the airport authorities, same auditor.
Okay, is there a motion on the floor to approve utilizing the same financial audit company as KHI of Moss Adams?
So
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Now we have to do a revision with changes to the budget, because on the budget form, we only budgeted $13,000 for the audit. The proposal came in at 19.5, but once they come in and see, you know, the details of their audit, we're not expecting it to be quite that high. There's probably, according to me and Mr. Moore, they may come in a little bit lower, is that true? And stuff.
I think they made their submission based on they might have to come here alone to do this one, so it's
Yeah.
really inflated. So you should make some savings there.
So we're gonna budget it for 19.5, because this budget is only an estimate, so we can always get less is better. But if we budget it what they
And they'll
quoted
bill-
us,
they'll
then
bill
we're
us for that.
good and stuff. But this is for us, so. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the revised budget ending June 30th, 2025 with changes?
I make the motion to approve with changes for the budget for 2025
And the changes are this audit fee from 13,000 to 16,000.
to
1995.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
1 second.
Any discussion? Let's take it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. This goes to our unfinished financial business. Clearing the balance owed at the attorney's office. I just received additional bills from Mr. Williams. One of the bills that took care of the Attorney General's complaint, we're writing a check today. There's another bill for $302.50 that was generated by Board Member Newmeyer and Valentine, that the board's not gonna pay for that. Because you weren't authorized to call, you weren't authorized to email.
I don't think
Or
you should have to
contact.
be authorized to call about irregularities that are going on.
You
in the
read your
board.
bylaws.
No,
Your bylaws state-
Bylaws do not state.
Yes, it does. It
If you
states who
if
to
you got a
contact.
problem with your board, you can't go to your attorney and have him discuss it being against him and you. I mean, you get a different.
It wasn't a discussion about that, actually. It was just information that was given to him. And he gave me no advice. And he did not say he was going to charge me. He also told me that he could not accept money from me personally because his contract is with the board. And that's what is going to.
Well, I've been on the phone for 2 days with the county department, and they're actually gonna bill, you guys, one of you sent a fax. There was a fax sent to him on 3/11 with the agenda on the March 12th meeting. There was a fax sent to him with it highlighted about changing attorneys and everything, and he's gonna get me the number that it faxed from because it was billed under my name, and I didn't send it.
No, I know that Dan Valentine sent it. I didn't send it.
Okay, so with that said, your bill with, so you didn't do the fax. So your total bill with the attorney is $302.50, and Dan's bill is $110. And
Now,
the
according
county,
to information you've already given me, the bills to me was supposedly $110.
that was for the phone call that you made on January
That's all
26th.
I've done.
Well, on here, there was a telephone conference that he billed for 3/11, and I will give you it. Here's your bill, and I've highlighted your section of the bill and the emails that it generated and stuff, because on February the 19th, I have it in writing that I put the legal account on hold. We were not to generate any more bills with the attorney until we could have our March 12th meeting. On February 21st, he sent a letter out, and he addressed each one of the board members. Everyone got a copy of it, that he was confused on who the contact person was, and wanted the paper sent to him with the name and
Yes,
the
I got
authorization.
that. I got that.
We were gonna deal with that on March the 12th, but you and Dan continued to contact him prior to March the 12th, and you accumulated this bill that the account was on hold. So because you did it, if you have a problem, you need to bring it to the board and get authorization from the board. There's one person that is the contact person for any contracts, and that's the chairperson. It's in your bylaws.
I
And
didn't
so
say that
it's
the
in his
bylaws say
contract.
that there's one person who is your authorized contact.
It's
I'm
also
saying
in the attorney's contract. There's one person to
you don't
contact.
have the
And
attorney.
I was
We
the
also-
only
we also
person.
voted on that.
Yes, I was, in August, there was a vote. If you pull the minutes from August, it was a vote that you guys voted. I was the contact person, and you guys took it upon yourself to do it, and the board's not gonna pay it. I've told you that. I told you that after the January 26th conversation, that this continued, you're gonna pay the bill. We're not gonna pay it. So you guys continue to do it, and you continue to fax it, so that's the bill that you're responsible for, and they will be billing you. That's up between you and Mr. Joseph, but according to the,
I already
the
told you what they
supervisor-
told me about the bill, but if they send me a bill, then I'll pay it.
well, I believe they
have
did
to
send you
it.
a
They did
$110
not send
bill.
a bill to me.
Well, it's listed, it's in the packet. It was emailed to
The
you
wrong
on
address.
April the 5th.
It is not my address. They send the bill to my address where I live, then I would consider
Then
it.
you need to furnish your address to them
They have that.
and stuff. But I know it was emailed to you by Josh in the billing department on April the 5th. But that's, the bill was between you and the attorneys, because the board's just not gonna pay these bills. You guys can't just willy-nilly pick up the phone and call and stuff. That's not how it's done. And stuff, and you need to read your bylaws, and you need to read open
I
meeting
read the
laws.
bylaws. I think you're mistaken.
So the next item on here is discussion only, the complaint filed with the Attorney General's office by Mr. Bill Franzen for the outcome of the complaint. Mr. Franzen requested the packet in the minutes for the years 2021, 22, and 23 on December 18th. I gave him 556 pages that would cost this board $194.60. I gave them to him for free. I have a signed document. I sat there 20 minutes while he went through the pages, and he signed a document that he received all documents included. Then on December 25th, he claimed he didn't receive January, March, and May minutes of the packet for 2021 in an email. I responded to him and asked him to check the documents again. I know I gave him everything and that he signed from. Me and Catherine, Me and Catherine went down here and we copied those documents. We checked them. He got them. I reached out to the attorney because Mr. Franzen continued to send me emails that he didn't receive them, and had the attorney send him a itemized instructions if he wants those documents. It's another 136 pages that he had to pay 35 cents a page, and how much he could get it once that was paid, sent to the attorney. The attorney would notify me of the copies and he could have them. It never happened. Mr. Franzen instead took the letter from the attorney and made a note on it, and he sent it to my thesis. I don't know if your name. And Mr. French to their home address, in which their home address was never provided on our website, nor was it given to him to let him know. Then he continued to send me request after request after request, and per the attorney's advice, I was told not to respond to that. He responded. So then, even though Mr. Franzen was sent the letter from the attorney with the complete instructions, how he could get his copies on February 28th, and this letter explained everything in detail. He filed agreements with the Attorney General's office against the hospital district board as well as myself, in which he named me specifically that I refused to give him the documents. That was not true. That was not true. That only provided him with half of the documents. He also stated that he requested January 9th, 2024 draft minutes, and I, the chairman, refused to provide them to him as well, which was not true. We don't do draft minutes. We voted in January to do an action agenda. So that, again, was a miss. So we got in their packet, there is a letter from Miss Melissa Henry from the Attorney General's office, and it's a letter in there that Catherine sent her, asking her for the copy of the complaint along with her response, and she sent us both, and I was not in violation of anything. We are allowed to send him charge for copies, and our documents are not electronically saved. So anything that I have to make copies for, we have a right to charge 35 cents a page, and that was told numerous times to everybody. But I'm just letting you know that a complaint was filed and it was taken care of, and the board was not, nor was I at fault on anything. We abide right by, and there are public records laws. That was not open meeting laws, so it was filed under the wrong pretense. This brings us to the call to the public. If there's anybody at the call to the public that would like to speak, you can speak now. You have 3 minutes to stand and give your name and address, and you have 3 minutes. Is there anybody? Okay, with that said, the meeting is adjourned.
Now that we've got approval from the board.
You remember
Actually, all three.